Rich Dad Poor Dad. Introduction. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, had two main influential fathers in his life. Poor Dad was Kiyosaki's biological father, a man who was highly intelligent and very well educated. Poor Dad believed in studying hard and getting good grades, then finding a well-paying job. Yet, despite these seemingly positive attributes, Poor Dad didn't do well financially. Rich Dad was the father of Kiyosaki's best friend. He had a similar work ethic to Kiyosaki's real dad, but with a twist. Rich Dad believed in financial education, learning how money works, and understanding how to make money work for you. Although he was an 8th grade dropout, Rich Dad eventually became a millionaire by putting the power of money to work for him. The book is written from Kiyosaki's perspective of how Rich Dad went about making money and the mistakes that Poor Dad made. The first 6 chapters of Rich Dad Poor Dad make up about 2/3 of the book and discuss the 6 lessons that Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Chapter 1, The Rich Don't Work for Money. Oftentimes people misunderstand the title of this chapter, and mistakenly believe that it means the rich don't work. In fact, the complete opposite is true. Instead of reading the chapter title as The Rich Don't Work for Money, what Kiyosaki means to say is that the rich don't work for money. Note that by putting the emphasis on the word money, this section takes on an entirely different meaning. The truth is that the majority of rich people do work very hard, but they go about it differently than most people do. Rich people, and people who want to become rich, work and learn every day how to put money to work for them. As Rich Dad says, the poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Kiyosaki also notes that having a regular job is just a short-term solution to the long-term problem, or challenge, of creating wealth and financial freedom. It's fear that keeps most people working at a job, the fear of not paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. That's the price of studying to learn a profession or trade, and then working for money. Most people become a slave to money, and then get angry at their boss.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Chapter 2, Why Teach Financial Literacy. The second chapter of Rich Dad Poor Dad explains the difference between an asset and a liability. Chapter 2 drives home the point that it's not about how much money you make, but about how much money you keep. An asset is something that has value, that produces income or appreciates, and has a market where the asset can easily be bought and sold. Assets produce income. Assets appreciate. Assets do both. Conversely, liabilities take money out of your pocket because of the costs associated with them. When Rich Dad Poor Dad was first published back in 1997, Kiyosaki created a lot of controversy with this statement. That's because by definition, a personal residence isn't an asset unless it appreciates enough to offset the costs of ownership. On the other hand, rental property is an asset because it can generate enough passive income to exceed the expenses of operating and financing the real estate. As Kiyosaki writes in Chapter 2 of Rich Dad Poor Dad, want to grow rich? Concentrate your efforts on buying income-producing assets, when you truly understand what an asset is. Keep liabilities and expenses low. You'll deepen your asset column,